had to pick an extracurricular activity, and I did softball for one season when I was 6, and I sprained my pinky. And I was like, fuck that, I'm out of sports. I hate sports. I was like, put me in something else. So I did choir, and I was singing in the Phoenix Girls Chorus for like 9 years. I was 7 years old, and we had to like audition to like figure out like what level of the choir you're gonna get into. And clearly when you're 7, like that's the lowest level anyways. So there's like 5 different choirs, and I kind of worked my way up from there. I grew up in the suburbs in like a very safe neighborhood, and went to kind of a pretentious high school. Definitely never fit in high school. I actually got kicked out of high school my sophomore year. That was like pretty bad. Had to go to alternative school for a year, and then could have finished, but my mom made me go back to high school so I could like walk. So my childhood was kind of weird. I was definitely a rebellious kid. I'm the oldest by 8 years in my family. The day that I graduated high school, I had been planning on throwing this party called Yoshi's Island for probably 6 months. It was like the first show that I ever threw on my own. Ended up being very successful, like great turnout. Wow. Made so much money for like at the time when I was like, I don't even know like what 10 grand is, you know, like it was really cool, but they were not supportive. And on that day of my graduation, my mom called my phone. And this was like a week before the party, right? Yeah. And in Phoenix, in the rave scene, we would do info lines. That's how you get the information. So young Mija thought it was a smart idea to make my phone number the info line. And so like all week I kept answering her phone calls really fast, so she never got to my voicemail. Yeah. And then I missed a call, and it got to my voicemail, and it was like, Yoshi's Island rave, like this is all the information. Oh, and she like texted me, and she's like, what the fuck, you're throwing like a rave now? And she was not happy on my graduation day. But I mean, at that point I was like already 18. Yeah. I was like, listen, I'm gonna do this. But she's super cool now. I think originally I was going to college and I was DJing like as a hobby. And then I got offered to DJ at the Sheraton Hotel twice a week. And honestly, DJing at that hotel was paying more than any day job that I had. Yeah. And so she was like, okay, I get it. Like, you'll take less classes, you'll DJ, it's fine. But then I told her, Mom, I'm gonna drop out and be a DJ full time. Because that's just, it was making more sense to like keep working at the Sheraton. Yeah. And they were just like, oh God, like shake my head, you know? And then on my 22nd birthday, I was throwing this like weekly party in Phoenix. Yeah. And I invited her out, and she was supportive. She wanted to come out like for my birthday and like see me DJ at some like shitty, like, I mean, it's not shitty, it's an amazing club. Very divey though. And she came out, and this like group of people were also there, and it turns out they were like some burners from Bonnaroo. Or burners from Burning Man, and then they were like throwing this like stage at Bonnaroo. Yeah. And this is a week later, and they came up to my mom and like my business partner at the time. They're like, yeah, we want to bring her to Bonnaroo with us next week. So that's how you saw it, yeah. And she was so concerned. She was just like, oh God, like take care of my daughter. But that was really cool because that ended up being the experience like that. I got to go to Bonnaroo, and then Sunny ended up coming on my stage and kind of like jump-started my entire career. So I think at that point she was like, oh, okay, I get it now. I think when I got to high school was when I first heard this song called Raver's Fantasy. Just this very basic like rave track. And so I listened to that track and I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. And so then I kept figuring out like what other types of music was in the same realm as that. And at the time in Phoenix was like happy hardcore. It's been crossing a lot. Like I've been making some new original records that I haven't put out yet. I'm still trying to figure out exactly what to do with them. But a lot of it's definitely inspired by classical music with like the strings and everything. I've definitely become a lot more open to new types of music. When I first started DJing, I was pretty much playing like disco and house, and that was kind of like what I was set on. But after touring like this past year and like working with other artists and everything, it's really opened my mind to different types of music, meeting different people. I'm kind of introverted. I mean, I'm like half and half. I'm a Gemini, so I'm weird. But it's definitely made me more comfortable meeting other people, and just being more open to like my environments and taking it all in. I mean, it's always important to be innovative, and I feel like myself, I'm constantly changing. So that comes really naturally for me. But I mean, it's just important to evolve and always stay true to yourself, but always be like thinking about like, okay, how do I get to the next level? I would tell myself, that's a good question. I would tell myself to stop caring so much. Because the more you care, like, the more you like build this wall, you know?
Yeah.
But the second you stop caring, when you're making music especially, that's when shit really happens.
Relaxes you, yeah.
It's because like, you can, if you just don't care and you just do things, like things will happen, you know? But if you like think about it too much and you concentrate like on one particular thing, you're totally ignoring like 50 other like elements, you know?
Yeah.
So I think just like stop caring and just be free when you're making music.